If you walked into a movie theater recently, you witnessed something that would have sounded completely impossible just 5 years ago. Independent creators who started filming videos on YouTube are suddenly releasing feature-length horror films in global cinemas. I mean, just look at Kane Parsons, who at just 20 years old released the new Backrooms horror movie. And that movie opened to $81 million just in the US. All of this raises the very important question: are YouTubers actually taking over Hollywood? The short answer is yes, but not for the reason most people actually think. The real reason independent creators are actually beating traditional studios at their own game doesn't come down to the budget or star power, it comes down to a fundamental structural advantage. Most YouTubers are targeting Gen Z. They know how to manage visual pacing and leverage social media loops better than anyone currently sitting in a Hollywood boardroom. To understand why these big franchises aren't really performing at the box office as they used to, we have to look at the demographic that is currently keeping movie theaters alive. Industry reports reveal that Gen Z is the most active movie-going generation, with a staggering 87% of them attending theaters over the past 12 months. But Hollywood is still playing an entirely obsolete playbook. A lot of Gen Z has zero emotional investment in those corporate brands that started decades before they were even born. And more importantly, they did not grow up with traditional cinema or cable television as their primary medium. They grew up watching YouTube. For this generation, digital native creators are the default baseline of visual storytelling. Having spent over a decade interacting directly with those figures on their feeds, they have developed an organic trust and cultural alignment that a traditional studio cannot buy with a $100 million marketing campaign. Traditional Hollywood marketing relies on a top-down approach: buy billboards, air television trailers, and pray that audience show up on a Friday night. The YouTuber operates on an entirely different level of audience engagement. Creators spend years analyzing real-time analytics dashboards, learning exactly which second of a video caused a human being to click away. So when a time comes for a creator to advertise their movie, they can just weaponize their community that already trusts them. But before we look at the definitive barrier that will keep this creator wave from completely replacing traditional studios, hitting that subscribe button would help me out a ton. Now, will YouTubers take over traditional dramas, sci-fi blockbusters, or massive action epics? The realistic answer is no. While digital creators are dominating the creative conversation right now, we are looking at a very specific market intersection. These YouTuber movies are a perfect marriage between a massive demand for shared, high-impact horror experiences and the incredibly low financial barrier to entry in the genre. You see, horror functions entirely on atmospheric tension, pacing, and strong concepts. Elements a talented creator can execute flawlessly with a camera and a limited budget. But when it comes to massive, sweeping spectacles that require complex industrial infrastructure and hundreds of millions of dollars of upfront capital, the traditional studio systems still holds the key. YouTubers have proven they are a viable box office draw, and studios will continue to aggressively hand them development deals, but their creative influence will likely remain strategically focused in the horror or thriller genres. Ultimately, internet creators aren't replacing traditional studios, they are saving them from their own creative exhaustion. But they are proving that if you want an audience raised on digital media to leave their sofas, you have to offer them a tailored organic cinematic event, rather than a formulaic corporate project that's just stretched out to 2 hours. In fact, that exact identity crisis is a big reason of why massive big budget franchises like Star Wars are currently struggling to actually bring Gen Z to the cinema. In fact, I just put together a deep dive breakdown on why The Mandalorian and Grogu actually doesn't really look like a real movie and rather just like a TV show. So if you're interested, click the video right here to see how changes in the production pipeline have actually affected Hollywood's biggest brands. And let me know in the comments which direction you think the industry is heading in. I'll see you over there.